Hello, young minds of class 8. I'm your English grammar digital mentor. Today we will start with chapter number 2, which is sentence. So let's start with the starter. See the picture here and we have to complete the sentences. Here in the first picture, Mr. Sinha is dash from the greengrocer. So here he is buying vegetables from him. So we can write Mr. Sinha is buying vegetables from the greengrocer. Similarly, let's see the second picture. Here a girl is riding the scooter. So in the sentence we can write Miss Minakshi is riding a scooter. In the next picture we have a boy who is running in the park. So in that sentence we can write Ved is running in the park. So let's start with part number A, which tells the definition of a sentence. A group of words that make a complete sense is called a sentence. For example, India received the Rafale fighter jets from the France. Second, don't ignore the instructions. Third example is, how far is Ladakh from Delhi? Fourth is, what a lovely dress it is. Now we have different kinds of sentences. So part number B tells us the kind of sentences. Sentences are following of four kinds. First is assertive or declarative. Second is interrogative. Third is imperative. And fourth is exclamatory. Let us read about each of the sentence in detail. So part number C tells us about the assertive or declarative sentence. Sentences that state or declare something are called assertive or declarative sentences. Assertive sentence can either be affirmative or negative statement. An affirmative sentence conveys a positive meaning. A negative statement conveys a negative meaning. For example, he obeys his parents. So here it is affirmative since it is conveying the positive meaning. Point number 2 is she does not obey her parents. Here, since not is written, so it is an example of a negative statement. Example number 3 says boys play football. Here it is affirmative sentence, and example number 4 is he never gets angry. Since never is written, so it is a negative sentence. Part number D is interrogative sentences. Sentences that ask a question are called interrogative sentence. For example, who is the new Prime Minister of Japan? Here it is asking a question, so it is an example of interrogative sentence. Example number 2 is, do you know this boy? Now let's start with part number E, which is imperative sentences. Sentences that express order, request or advice are called imperative sentences. For example, shut the door. Second example is clean your room. Now part number F is exclamatory sentences. Sentences that express sudden and strong feelings like joy, sorrow, anger, surprise, etc. are called exclamatory sentences. For example, alas, the poor boy drowned in the river. Second one is hush, don't make noise. So these are the example of exclamatory sentences. Now let's start with some of the questions related to the concept. Part number G says read the following sentences and write their kind. So let's see the first part of this exercise. First is please be quiet. So here it is ordering something, commanding something. So here it is an imperative sentence. In the following way, you have to do rest of the parts of this exercise by yourself. Let's start with the another part of this chapter, which is part number H, subject and predicate. Every sentence is made up of two parts, subject and predicate. Subject refers to that part of the sentence that we are speaking about. Predicate refers to that part. Predicate refers to the part of sentence that tells about the subject. For example, Manish is the head boy of our class. So here we are talking about Manish. So Manish will be the subject and rest of the sentence will be the predicate. So here who is the head boy of the class? Manish. We are talking about Manish. So Manish is the subject part of the sentence. What we are speaking about, the subject Manish, that he is the head boy of our class. So the head boy of our class is the predicate part of the sentence. Now here are some important points related to this. Now did you know an assertive sentence can be one of the two types, affirmative and negative? So here did you know assertive sentences end with a full stop. Now here is a did you know. Interrogative sentence end with a question mark. Did you know imperative sentences end with a full stop? Did you know exclamatory sentences end with a mark of exclamation? Now here is an oral question for you all. Can a sentence be of one word? Give one example. So you have to find the answer of this question and write in your notebook. Now here are some important points related to this. The part of the sentence that tells what the sentence is about is called subject. Second is the part of the sentence that tells about the subject is called predicate. Next point is the subject can be made up of one word or more than one word. Next point is the predicate can be made up of one word or more than one word. Next point is the predicate must have at least one finite verb. Now next part is part number I, which is order of subject and predicate. The subject usually comes first. Sometimes, however, the order is reversed. For example, sat in a corner and cried the poor girl. The poor girl sat in the corner and cried. In interrogative sentences, the subject usually comes after a part of the predicate. To find the subject, turn the question into a statement. For example, here is an interrogative sentence which is have you seen my coat? So first we will change it into a sentence which will be, so when we change the sentence into statement, it will be you have seen my coat. So you is the subject. In imperative sentences, the subject you, it is generally omitted. For example, come here actually means you come here. So you is the subject. In exclamatory sentence, the subject is placed after the predicate or in between the predicate. For example, how beautiful the rainbow is. So in this sentence, the rainbow is the subject part. Now here are some questions which we have to do related to the above concept. Part number J tells us to circle the subject and underline the predicate in the following sentences. Let's see the first part. Fumio Kishida is the new Prime Minister of Japan. So here we are talking about Fumio Kishida. So Fumio Kishida will be the subject of this sentence. So we will circle Fumio Kishida. And what we are talking about her, that she is the new Prime Minister of Japan. So we will underline this whole sentence since it is the predicate of this sentence. In a similar manner, you have to do rest of the parts of this exercise by yourself. With that, let's move on to the next part, which is part number K, yes, no question. We already know that there are two types of interrogative sentence. First is WH question and yes, no questions. What, why, where, which, when, etc. are WH questions. Let us learn about yes, no question. Some questions can be answered with a yes or a no. Are you waiting for me? Yes, I am. Or we can say no, I'm not. Such questions usually start with auxiliary verbs like is, are, was, were, did, do, did, will, can, followed by a noun or a pronoun. When answering such question, you need to repeat the entire question. Instead, use the auxiliary verb used in the question. For example, would you give me your science notebook? Yes, I will. Or we can say, no, I won't. Do you know her? So we can say yes, I do, or we can say no, I don't. You can change a statement into yes, no question by putting an auxiliary verb like is, am, are, shall, will before the subject. For example, Megha is going to her dance class. So we can change it into a yes, no question by shifting is in the front. So it becomes is Megha going to her dance class? So we can say yes, she is. In the two sentences above, the auxiliary verb is present in both the answers. In both the answer and the question. However, in some sentences, there may be no auxiliary verb present in the answer. You have to add it when framing the question. Yes, I like chocolate very much. Do you like chocolate? So here we will do some question related to that concept, which is part number L of this chapter. Here we have to make yes, no question from these sentences. Let's see the first part. The sentence is yes, Deepa is singing a song. So we have to make a question related to this statement. So for that we will shift is in the front. So our question becomes, is Deepa singing a song? And we'll put a question mark at the end. In this manner, you have to do rest parts of this question by yourself. We'll move to the next part of this chapter, which is part number M, question tab. Read the following sentences. Mr. Sharma is an honest man, isn't he? The word isn't he forms a phrase called a question tag. A question tag is used to confirm if something is true. It usually has same auxiliary verb and tense as the main sentence and ends with the subject pronoun. A positive statement is followed by a negative question tag. For example, we are Indians, aren't we? A negative sentence is followed by a positive tag. For example, he has not done with his task. Has he? In some sentences, auxiliary verb may not be present in the statement. In such cases, add appropriate auxiliary verb in the question tag. For example, Megha wrote a letter, didn't she? Now related to these concepts, let's do some questions, which is part number N of this exercise. Here, we have to complete these sentences with appropriate question tag. Let's see part number 1. Monica is very intelligent girl. So here we can put isn't she at the end with a question mark. In a similar manner, you have to do rest of the parts of this exercise by yourself. With that, we are at the end of this chapter. I hope you understood the concept. Solve the question as much as you can, and if you have any doubt, you can refer your teacher. We'll meet with the next chapter. Till then, take care.